Hey guys, and welcome back to the Funnel channel. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Funnel channel. I have not uploaded on this channel in a very long time, and I apologise for that. Basically what happened was I fell out of interest in vinyl because I wasn't making any money. But now I'm making money again, and I got this sick new setup, so I started collecting again, and boom, my collection's grown. You haven't seen my collection, but it has grown since my last upload, so I thought I'd just give you a wee showcase. So let's get right into it. So the first album in my collection, in alphabetical order, is An Awesome Wave by Alt J. Great album by the band Alt J, obviously. It is gatefold. All the song lyrics on here. And not only that, but it is on beautiful white vinyl. I did an unboxing of this album on my channel. I think it was my last video actually. So if you want to see that, go check it out. The next album in my collection is this one. I forgot what it's called. What is it called? Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not, by the Arctic Monkeys. Great album. It's on black vinyl. I think we can assume if I don't show the colour of the vinyl that it's just black. Single vinyl, but there is a pretty cool inner sleeve that shows some photos that look very 2006. Next up we have Bloc Party's debut album, Silent Alarm. My favourite album in their discography. Man, I love this album. I listened to this from a really young age, but I didn't fully immerse myself in the album until like 2020 maybe. So this album has some good times and bad times. That's a great album. And the next album, also by Bloc Party, Alpha Games, their most recent album. After a bit of an interesting musical direction, they went back to their sound, their original rocky sound, with some dancey elements in it, but I love this gatefold album. Has all the lyrics on here, some nice artwork, and beautiful red vinyl. The next album in my collection, C418 Volume Beta, the Minecraft soundtrack, the creative soundtrack. I really wanted the survival soundtrack Volume Alpha, but I literally can't find it anywhere. But single vinyl, but I actually really like this cover. It's a really cool cover. Totally encapsulates the mood of the album. Next album in my collection is Wasting Light by the Foo Fighters. Now, I thought this is my favourite Foo Fighters album, so I told my grandparents it was my favourite. Then they gave it to me, and I realised I'd only heard like 2 songs on it. But then it became my favourite album just by listening to it. Man, this album's great. So we have a gatefold image of the band here. Very nice, very nice. And then on the other side, there's a song listing. The next album, a very recent addition to my collection. Got this for Christmas from my mum. Love you, mum. This is Demon Days by Gorillaz, my favourite Gorillaz album. So as you can see, there's a really nice gatefold thing with each image representing a song. So here we have Dirty Harry, we have Feel Good Inc., Kids with Guns, one of my favourite tracks. Next up we have a pretty unknown band. Shout out to you if you know who they are, because I don't really know many people that know this band. But for one of their albums that I have, I actually re-recorded this whole video, but the mic quality was really bad, but I did a voiceover of it anyway, so as you can see here, very nice gatefold with some credits at the bottom. But if we open it even more, you can see an image of the band. Very nice. And on the other side, there's all the songs. And the special thing about this album is that each side has a collection of 3 or 4 songs from each of the band's albums, which I think is one of the coolest box set ideas I've ever seen. So on the first LP we have some nice white vinyl, as you can see. There's some wee specks of other colours in there, but yeah, very nice. And next we have this sort of mess of different colours. As you can see, it's like olive green with like rainbow splatter. Cool, I guess. The next one is, I believe, just normal red vinyl, from what it looks like from my own eyes. And the last one, as I'm signalling here, is my favourite one, simply because of the albums that are on it. My favourite albums by them are on this exact disc, I guess you could say. So that's the Hot Water Music 20th anniversary, I guess. I actually have another album by them called Caution, my favourite album by them. If not that, then probably A Flight in a Crash. But this album's great. Next up we have All Mod Cons by The Jam, their debut album. I actually got this from my granny. She said it was the first album she ever bought when she was a teenager. So she bought me the same one. It's a new copy, obviously. Love this album. I heard the Jam before, but I really got into them from this album, so, you know, it's a great album. Next, we have probably the most famous band in my whole collection, Led Zeppelin. You've got to have a Led Zeppelin record in your collection at some point. But yeah, this is Led Zeppelin 2, my favourite Led Zeppelin album. As you can see, it is a very nice gatefold artwork here. Standard black vinyl. Nothing much to say. Next we have another highly regarded Zepp album, 4 or Untitled depending on what you call it. Has some pretty cool artwork on the gatefold and some pretty cool artwork on the front and back. The next album in my collection is a pretty obscure one. It would be the FLCL Soundtrack. Now FLCL, if you didn't know, is one of my favourite anime series of all time, and it's probably one of my favourite soundtracks to anything ever. I love this album by The Pillows. There's not much to say other than it's just amazing. Go watch FLCL if you haven't. It's literally only 6 episodes or something, but it's such a good anime. Next up, we have another recent album in my collection from Mumsy Pops again for Christmas. That would be Kid A by Radiohead, one of my favourite bands of all time. Now, this album is truly a masterpiece, I must say. But the next one is even more of a masterpiece. Are you quite done? The holy grail of Radiohead albums, their magnum opus. This album is beautiful. It is beautiful inside and out. Literally the best Radiohead album ever. One of the best albums of all time. I'm not trying to mention songs on these records because I'm trying to save time, but I think this album deserves a song mention, and that would be Weird Fishes. Next up, I feel like I'm saying that a million times today, but By the Way by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Great album by them, probably my favourite. Not much to say really, it's a good album, innit? Next up we have my favourite Smiths album, Hatful of Hollow. It is gatefold, as you can see. Only one record, but yeah. This album has all the good Smiths songs on it. So what else can I say? It's a great album. Next we have the biggest discography I have in my collection. There's only 4 records here, which actually makes it look a lot less than I thought it was. But anyway, that band would be 21 Pilots. So the first album in that discography would be Regional at Best, which is a great album. Obviously, it's 21 Pilots, come on, one of my favourite bands of all time. Now, this is a bootleg because they actually lost the rights to this album because something happened with their record label. I don't really want to get into details. So this is a bootleg, possibly illegal, I don't know. But it's on clear vinyl, beautiful clear vinyl. I also have their next album, Vessel, also on clear vinyl. This was my favourite record by them until French came out. Now this album is the magnum opus of 21 Pilots. It is beautiful inside and out. The lyrics, the music, the instrumentation, the production is beautiful. It's great. It's my favourite 21 Pilots album, one of my favourite albums of all time. I don't know why I haven't done it a second time. So you may have noticed, if you're a 21 Pilots fan, I am missing Blurry Face and their first album, self-titled. But I also have Scale and Icy, probably their prettiest album in terms of the physical thing, probably their worst album musically, honestly. Very cool inner sleeve with beautiful blue vinyl. This is one of my favourite vinyls to look at in my collection. And last but definitely not the least by any means, Vampire Weekend's self-titled album. This is a great album. Again, like Bloc Party, I listened to this a lot from my dad when I was really little. So I knew this album inside and out before I listened to it fully, but that's why I love it. It gives me so much nostalgia when I listen to this album. And that concludes my vinyl collection video. I really hope you enjoyed. I know it's not the biggest setup in the world, but I'm 17 with a minimum wage job, so... But you know, over Christmas and my own money and birthdays, I've built up that little collection over there of albums that I love and cherish and care about and have good times with. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever the hell that is. Bye guys.